All right, so we're about to start a Facebook Live. We'll be just starting in a moment. My name is Yogi Aaron, and we're going to be talking today about the different yoga teacher trainings that are out there and things to look forward to in online yoga teacher trainings. So we're going to start in just a moment. Sims, thank you so much. We miss you guys too. Blue Osa has been closed, well, since middle of March, and it's been really, as you can imagine, really challenging. If you're just kind of joining in, I'm going to talk today about the different yoga teacher trainings and online teacher trainings and things to look forward to. My name is Yogi Aaron, and I am the owner of Blue Osa Yoga Retreat and Spa. And in response to people not being able to travel, we've started doing or offering online yoga teacher trainings. And there's a lot out there. And when we started this back in middle of March, there was hardly anything out there. The number of searches or people that were looking for online yoga teacher trainings was minuscule. And now it's just completely blowing up. And a lot of studios have moved more online for obvious reasons at this moment. And it really makes it kind of challenging for people to kind of decide what kind of online yoga teacher training should I choose, because there is so many out there. So what I want to do first of all is talk about what is out there and what is being offered if you're choosing an online yoga teacher training. And then the second thing I want to do is look at what are some things to consider. You know, there's so many different yoga teacher trainings out there. So what are some things that you as a consumer, you as a yoga student, you as a person that really wants to immerse more deeply into this practice, into this tradition, that what are some things that you should consider? What are some things that you might want to think about? And then the third thing I want to talk about is why you should consider the online Blue Osa Yoga Teacher Training, which of course I think is one of the best being offered, but I'm a little biased. While I'm doing this, I want to just invite you guys to ask any questions as we're going through this. And let me know if you have any questions about teacher trainings, about online teacher trainings. This is also a bit of a Q&A as well. So as a chance for you to get to know me and me to get to know you, and but also really for you to ask me any questions here. So please feel free to ask any questions. I'm here. I'm also running the Instagram Live as well, so we're doing it in both platforms. So I just want to invite everybody just to kind of join in and ask anything that you want. So as I mentioned earlier, there's a lot out there in terms of yoga teacher trainings right now. And I think that at the top of the list, especially if you're a person that's concerned about pricing, there's really this huge array of prices. There's a yoga teacher training, online yoga teacher training right now that's being offered for $400. $400. Now, a decent credentialed, top of the line school is going to charge minimum on site around somewhere between $3,000 and $5,000. So when you see something being offered for $400, it's kind of interesting. That's the word I'm going to use right now, is interesting. So you probably want to kind of definitely taking pricing into consideration, but you probably want to look at, well, what's really behind the pricing? What are you really getting? And we're going to kind of flesh that out a little bit more as we get into this talk. So there's definitely different structures that's being offered out there as well. There's a lot of different structures. Some of those structures include some time where you get a lot of time with the teacher, where you get a lot of immersive experience. So a lot of yoga teachers out there are bringing in their yoga teacher trainings and basically doing the same format, the same kind of curriculum that they would do in person, except that they're doing it online. And then there's other teacher trainings out there, probably the $400 ones, I'm assuming, where it's completely online. And I just want to let you guys know that according to Yoga Alliance, that they're not really happy about this. Unfortunately, Yoga Alliance is not doing their job and kind of checking on what is being offered, in my opinion. But they do require that teachers are giving a lot of live time to their students, a decent amount of time. And that was the word that actually was given to me, was a decent amount of time. So you really want to look for a teacher training, I think, that offers a decent amount of time, live time with the students. And I'm going to come back to that. And basically, most of the, I would even say that a lot of the yoga teacher trainings that are being offered right now, and I've been doing a lot of research into what else is out there, of course, that so much of it is recorded. And this, of course, is a really nice model. There's a lot of recorded online yoga teacher trainings being offered out there. And that this kind of gives you the freedom, of course, to go at your own pace, to kind of go at your own trajectory, and you can do things when you want to do them. So I have a few things to say about that. But that's kind of what's being offered out there. And so there's some things that you want to think about, I think, when you're considering an online yoga teacher training. And the first and foremost thing is, who is my teacher? And I think that sometimes, sadly, with the onslaught of yoga teacher trainings that are being offered right now out there, that that people are really losing touch with a tradition. It's really, for me, this is very disheartening, because I have had the privilege of being taught by many teachers who really come from in a very deep, immersed tradition, that were blessed to have amazing teachers before them. This is, a 5,000-year lineage, and I can honestly say that the lineage that I teach comes from that tradition. It doesn't come from the tradition of some, local fitness center learning how to perfect Trikonasana or handstand, but that I come from a tradition where we're learning really how to perfect the quality of our mind. And this is something that's really being lost, and I feel really, honestly, a lot of sadness for kind of what's being offered out there, because what's being offered is really kind of what I refer to a lot of as smoke and mirrors. And so I would really encourage you, whatever you decide to do, that you look for a teacher that really speaks to your heart, a teacher that really is connected to a tradition, a living tradition, and that can really impart those pearls of wisdom, that knowledge to you, that knowledge that is connected to that living tradition. So this is really, for me, it's heart and center to really choosing anything that you do. You want to make sure that you have the best teacher. Unfortunately, a lot of people don't look at that, and I think we have a lot of heat maps on our website, and so we can see like what people's habit patterns are. And the least place that people look at on our pages is, who is the teacher. And the number one place that they look at is the price. That's the gauge that people are looking at through this prism of, what kind of teacher training do I want? I'm so saddened about that. For me, the first place I would look is, who's the teacher? Who is this person I'm going to be studying with? Who's this person I'm going to be investing my time with? And I just think that's so important, that if you're going to invest in a journey that's so profound and so deep, that you really start to consider, who is this person that you're going to be studying with? And are they going to be able to help me uncover my greatest potential and help me to release or unveil the best version of myself? that's who I want as my teacher. And so if you're looking for a teacher training, I think that is first and foremost is who is the person that's going to help me become or reveal the best version of myself. The other question, and this kind of ties into the last point, is how many hours do you get with this person? There's so many teacher trainings right now that are just online, and which is great because there should be, I think, a little bit of go at your own pace. Everybody's schedule is so busy right now, and not everybody can definitely take out all of that time to really spend with just that one person. But how many live hours do you get with that person? And right now, there's this thing out there that's being called office hours. And I've been seeing this come up a lot in my research of other online yoga teacher trainings, that you are so lucky to get office hours with this teacher. And I think to myself, like, I wonder if in the Himalayan mountains, the great sages and the great teachers had office hours that they were offering to, you know, their students. The doctor's in. But your teacher really should be accessible. This is a tradition, this living tradition, is imparted in very profound ways. And one of the things that's not talked about enough, I think one of the things that's not given enough press, is that this tradition is imparted in silence. And one of my favorite quotes is from Mother Teresa, who said, "God speaks and the heart listens." And the word of the tradition is spoken through the silence of the teacher. And it doesn't happen when you're doing an online training so easily. It's having led now an online yoga teacher training, it takes a lot of skill, and it takes a lot of time and nurturing to spend with that person to cultivate that relationship. And so you need to have time with the student, and you as the student need to have that time with the teacher, or the seeds, the pearls of that tradition don't get passed down. And so the word for that is transmission. There's a transmission that happens between teacher and student. And so it's really important that there is time with the teacher. How much time do you get with the teacher, and are they only offering, you know, I've seen some teacher trainings right now where they're offering 1 hour a day, or 1 hour on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And so maybe that's what you want. You know, namaste if it is. But the real aspects of this of this tradition are imparted through the practice and the time that you're able to spend with that teacher. And so I'm just kind of checking here. And again, if anybody has any questions or comments, please feel free to ask questions or comments as I'm going along here. This is an opportunity for you to ask any kind of questions about teacher trainings or anything that you want to know about. Okay, so the last thing I kind of wanted to say is, like, you really want to be steeped in one idea or one kind of teaching. The teaching that we offer comes from the Himalayan tradition, and I'll talk a little bit about that in a moment. But one of the I call this smoke and mirrors. And one of the smoke and mirrors of so many online yoga teacher trainings and live teacher trainings out there is this idea that you can sample a little bit of this and sample a little bit of that, and, you know, have all of this kind of experience. And, you know, my friend Karina said it the best, who's another yoga teacher. And what she said was that all of these kind of samplings, as nice as it might seem, it's kind of like making tea. You have 20 tea bags in front of you. And so you're going to make a delicious, scrumptious cup of tea. And what you're going to do is you're going to take one tea bag and put it in the hot water, and then take it out, and take another tea bag and put it in the hot water and bring it out, and do that all the way down the line. And at the end of it, all you have is a tasteless muck of nothingness. And that doesn't leave you with anything. It actually leaves you with more confusion. In the yoga tradition, and I think, again, this is one of the things that's not talked about enough, is how easily confused the mind is. And we can actually see evidence of that in the world today, that there's a lot of confusion out there. And what we're looking to do in yoga is unconfuse the mind. We want to take confusion away from the mind. We want the mind to become clear and focused. The mind, it's said in the Yoga Sutras, the potential of the mind is to become like a diamond that's unfragmented, that's clear, and that doesn't distort anything. And that through this diamond, we're able to see life as it really is, and we're able to see ourselves as who we really are. That's the promise of yoga. That is the real promise. Not how long you can stand on your hands, for God's sakes. If all that you could learn to do in your yoga practice is learn how to stand on your hands, good God, go take a gymnastics class. You don't need to pay a yoga teacher, thousands of dollars to learn how to do that. But what we want you to do is learn how to stand on your own 2 feet and see the world as it really is, so that you can go out and manifest and live your life purpose to the best that you can do. So I noticed that my numbers just dropped. The number of people just dropped after I said that disparaging remark about handstands. Namaste. I think that's really funny. A lot of people don't like hearing that. They want the smoke and mirrors, and they want the live music, and they want, all the distractions that cause more confusion. And I think that's one of the benefits of doing the Blue Osa online yoga teacher training is this is the real deal here. This is like a mixture of seriousness, of lightheartedness, of fun, of laughter, of joking, but also getting down to business of what we're actually doing here. I really believe strongly that the world is calling to us right now to step up in a very powerful way, in a very potent and really deep and meaningful way, and that we need to be able to rise up to that challenge. And part of being able to rise up to that challenge, part of us being able to rise up in this moment and become our best self, is to get to work on ourselves. That so many of us are looking outside of ourselves for the world to change. And I was actually having a staff meeting yesterday with some of my staff, and we were talking about the world and sort of where the world is at right now. And I said to them, we cannot change the world, but what we can do is change ourselves. We can get to work on ourselves and work on becoming the best version of ourselves. But we need to do that work. And if we're not willing to do the work, life or the world is not going to change. If we're not willing to look at ourselves and see the pain and suffering that we have in our own life and do something about it, and realize that we're separate from that pain, that we don't have to identify anymore with that pain, then we can actually start to uncover something very potent and very sincere and deep within ourselves and unleash that out into the world. So with that, some things that you get out of this teacher training, this online yoga teacher training with me. The very first thing is that you get to study with me. And so who am I? As I was saying in the beginning, my name is Yogi Aaron. I'm the owner of Blue Osa Yoga Retreat. I started many years ago Blue Osa, and I started Blue Osa because I wanted to create a sanctuary, a yogic sanctuary that was by the sea. We were right on the ocean. And my background is that I owned a yoga studio in New York for 10 years, and before that I've been studying yoga for 30 years. I've been so blessed to be enriched by so many teachers, and it was with their grace that I'm able to pass on this tradition to you. And so I bring with this teacher training a lot of knowledge, and more richness and more tradition than you can possibly imagine. If you don't believe me, go check out the affirmation series that we have on the internet right now. It's fantastic. And if you can't find it, then just message me and I'll send it to you after this. But I would encourage you to go do it and research, who I am, and that you can be assured that you're really landing in the right place. One of the things that has made me really kind of take a leap, I don't really self-promote too much, but one of the reasons why I've decided to start doing more lives and more promotion is because I really feel like people are really hungry for this knowledge. A while ago, I interviewed a lot of people, about a dozen people, and there were people of all ages, of all age groups, of all sexes. And one of the things that the most common theme that I found with all of these people is, and by the way, thank you so much, Mary Beth, for that comment. It was really sweet. Thank you. That the number one thing that most people are hungry for or feel lacking in, a sense of lacking, is this sense that they're not in touch with their purpose. They don't know who they are. They don't know where they're going, and they don't know if they're on the right path. And for me, that is probably the single most disturbing thing that I've ever heard, is that out of all of these people, all of them said that they had no idea what they were doing and what path they were supposed to be on. I am really saddened by that, but on the other side, it makes me realize I've got a challenge. And if you're looking to find out what your purpose is, if you're looking to find out what your next step is in life, please come and join this teacher training with me. So the other part of this teacher training and why you might want to consider the Blue Osa online yoga teacher training is because this teacher training is really going to give you something authentic. I said earlier, there's a lot of teacher trainings out there, online yoga teacher trainings, full of a lot of smoke and mirrors. And that this online yoga teacher training is going to give you something that's connected to something authentic and real. And part of that is by virtue of the fact that for 14 days, every single morning we'll meditate. There's not one online yoga teacher training out there that's doing this. I guarantee it. That is offering a meditation practice in their online yoga teacher training curriculum. There's no teacher training out there that for 14 days that you are able to do a real, authentic practice live with a teacher. Sure, there's a lot of nice choreographed stuff out there that's, videotaped. This is going to be your opportunity to do something live with me. And these live sessions are going to take you to places that you never thought possible, to give you a state of mind that's clear, that's crisp, that's full of clarity. And so if you're craving to have a state of mind that is really clear, that's really focused, then this is the place for you to consider checking out. One of the other things to do is to consider Blue Osa as an online yoga teacher training, is that in our online yoga teacher training, there's a combination of live hours and then go at your pace hours. Now, I said earlier, one of the things that you should consider is how many live hours you get. So with me, over 50% of the training is live with me. And that you get to spend a lot of time with me throughout 2-week period. And there's 50%, about 50%, almost 50% is going to be kind of go at your own pace, where you get to watch videos. I've got a lot of recordings of me talking about the Yoga Sutras. One of the other reasons why you should consider this Blue Osa online yoga teacher training is because I'm the only one that's teaching applied yoga anatomy. And through applied yoga anatomy, you're going to be learning a lot about muscle activation techniques. You're going to be learning a lot about different yoga therapies and how to start to work with people and giving them the best, most stable body that they've ever had in their entire life. Time and time again, after people take my teacher trainings, A lot of people, when they go through teacher training, they're like, oh, my body feels loose and it feels okay, and then a couple of days later, they're full of pain. But probably one of the biggest gifts that I get from my teacher training is afterwards, people are like, my body actually feels stable, it feels strong. And I know how to pass that on to other people. It's really nice to be able to take teacher trainings with people or workshops with people that can kind of do these fancy sequences, but can you replicate that? I'm actually going to teach you how to replicate everything that I'm going to teach you so that you can pass that on to other people. So this teacher training gives you the flexibility to do part of some of the training at your own pace, but the immersion part is the live part that you get with me, and that's where the real transformation starts to take place. And I really like this format because what I've noticed is that because of the way that we've structured it, people get to take the live training with me and then get to go back and do the go at your own pace, which reinforces everything that they've learned with me. And that's really a big plus. But the other biggest plus is that all of the live sessions are also recorded so that you can go back and you can watch those live sessions again and again and again. And they're not taken down. You can, like a year from now, go back and watch those live sessions again. Okay? So that's a little bit about the teacher training. I didn't get really any questions. So I'm going to just kind of pull up something really quickly and see if there was any questions, because maybe I didn't get anything. But I'm going to bring this to a close, and just want to just say thank you so much for the opportunity to speak to you and to share with you some of the knowledge and share with you some things that you really want to consider in a yoga teacher training. And I hope that whatever path you choose, that you really choose the best path for you. And please don't just look at what the price is, but look at all of the other things that are really important that that will give you the best yoga teacher training that you possibly can have. So again, I just want to say thank you so much for the opportunity. If you're watching this, I'm going to be offering a special kind of discount that you can get half an hour of my time anytime privately. So if you're watching this, message me privately and say, yes, I want to sign up and I want to get a half an hour coaching with you anytime. It can be before, during, or after the teacher training, and I'll be happy to offer that to you. So that's going to be the kind of promotion for this teacher training, that you get that half hour with me. And I just wish you all the best, and please, in earnest, continue your yoga practice so that you can be the best version of yourself and truly give to the world what the world needs at this moment. Namaste.